Faithful fathers imitate the Father. Faithful fathers imitate the Father. What does that mean? It means they're present. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're present there all day long in the same room, but it means that you're present regularly, and when you're there, you're engaged. It means you're present regularly, and when you're there, you're engaged. The lights are on. You're awake. You're concentrated. You're talking to them. It means you're consistent. You're consistent. You're not an emotional roller coaster, highs and lows, highs and lows. Again, that's the thermometer problem. No. You're steady. You're steady like the Father in heaven is steady. You're not easily moved. You bring the comfort and the peace and the stability to your home. Faithful fathers take responsibility. They know even if they don't know the answer, they know they're responsible to find out. They're responsible to pursue a solution. They're responsible to address the challenge. And faithful fathers are generous. Faithful fathers give and give and give again, gladly. They give time, they give money, they give sacrificially, they give energy, they give emotions, they give, and they'll give again. That's your faithful father. Think of James 1. In James 1 it says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Your Father in heaven is like that. He's fixed. He's steady. He's not moody. He's present and he's giving. Of course, no earthly father matches this perfectly. No earthly father matches this perfectly, and therefore our task is to point to that perfect father with everything we can. Right? Your job, you can't be that father perfectly. No father can. So what you're doing is you're pointing at the Father. You're pointing at the Father. So in your obedience, in your attempts at obedience, your obedience is still not perfect obedience. You take your kids to the park and you're trying to play with them, and they're chanting your name. Dad is great. He takes us to the park. And you say, yeah, but your Father in heaven is better. Your Father in heaven is way better. This is just an echo. This is just a shadow. Your Father in heaven always knows what you need, and he always gives it to you. You take them to McDonald's, and you're the greatest dad ever. You took us to McDonald's. And you say, you know what? Your Father in heaven, he has steak. Right? This just makes my belly hurt. But your Father in heaven is so much better than this, so much greater than this. Right? He's faithful. And so that there's your baby steps, your stumbling steps of obedience. Even there, you're saying, and your Father in heaven is better. Your Father in heaven is greater. He does it like this, but way better than me, guys. And then, of course, in your failures, what are you doing? Pointing to the Father. Your Father in heaven's not like this, kids. I snapped. I got upset. I got moody. Your Father in heaven is never moody. Your Father in heaven doesn't snap. And so you're pointing to the Father. You point to the Father in your stumbling attempts at obedience. You point to the Father when you've stumbled, when you've fallen. Your Father in heaven, kids, your Father in heaven has a great sense of humor, not like me. I took it so personally. I got offended. Your Father in heaven laughs. Your Father in heaven tells way better jokes. That's your Father in heaven, constantly pointing to the Father. One teacher describes faithful leadership as failing in the right direction. Failing in the right direction. There's no perfect fathers. There's no perfect husbands. There's no perfect pastors. There's no perfect magistrates. There's no perfect CEOs. There's none. No. While there really is a dearth of fathers in our land, our hope is not in perfect fathers. Our hope is in the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. Our hope is in the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. There have always been unfaithful fathers. There have always been imperfect men. Always. And every generation. The difference is between those men who fixed their eyes on Christ and those who gave up or rebelled. That's the difference. Those who fixed their eyes on Christ and said, okay, come on, family, we're going that way. I don't know how to get there. I don't know what I'm doing, but we're going that way. It makes all the difference. It makes all the difference.